Hi, welcome to the Montana Real Estate Channel. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, and if you want to know more about Montana real estate and the communities that we go into, focus on price points and the real estate market statistics, and whether it be a place that you'd like to live, be sure you tap that button on the lower right-hand side of your screen, the logo, and subscribe, and that way you'll know about whenever we put up a new video on a community in Western Montana. Today we're here in Polson, Montana. I'm Craig Cyphers, and I work with my daughter Erica at Cyphers Family Real Estate, and my family's been helping people transition into Montana and move about the state since 1966. And today we're going to go out into Polson and take a look at real estate, some landmarks, and some businesses, etc. So you can get a feel about Polson and see if it be an area that you might like to live in. Today we're on the shores of Flathead Lake, which is the largest natural freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. And out here on the far side, we see islands called the Narrows. And then beyond that, if you can see it, are the Swan Valley Range. And then over on this side, we have the Mission Range, which goes on down through St. Ignatius. Be sure to check that video out, and Arley and into the Jocko Valley. But let's go out and take a look at some real estate and some landmarks, and we're going to have some fun. Let's go.
Here we are on the Flathead Indian Reservation, home of the Salish, Ponderay, and Kootenai tribes, and this is the southern end of the Flathead Indian Reservation, where there are wonderful opportunities in real estate in this area. Even though it's controlled by the tribe and it is a sovereign nation, the Flathead Indian Reservation comprises of a number of communities that we'll take a look at each one of them. And they start, of course, in the south end with Arley, then we'll see St. Ignatius, Ronan, Polson, and then that will pretty much wrap up. It is freehold interest property. You do have some rules there that are subject to, like, for example, fishing, hunting, and of course water. So we'll start with this each time we go into one of the communities on the reservation.
Polson lies roughly in the middle of the reservation on the south. Tremendous growth over the last decade. In 2014, the trend line roughly showed a median single-family home in Polson was roughly $300,000. Once 2020 came around, things jumped dramatically. Today, the median sales price is closer to $500,000, and the average sale price in April of 2024 was $886,988. But there are three kinds of lies: damned lies, and statistics. The bottom line is that Polson, and particularly lakefront property, has exploded. Maybe not to the degree that Big Fork on the north end of the lake has, or the meteoric rise in real estate prices of Whitefish. Here we are traveling on Rocky Point Road on a late afternoon in the first days of May. The snow-capped mountains across the lake are bathed in sunlight as the sun is about to set in the west. And we're going to go down to the end of Rocky Point Road to Indian Bay and take a quick look at a typical lake house and associated ancillary buildings. It's a beautiful drive, and it's going to take just a minute, but enjoy the view as we pass by the many great properties on the way out to Indian Bay. Now this is a typical lakefront home. We've got an older 3-bedroom, 1-bath cabin that was built in 1962, and a main home here that was built in 1996. The main home is 3,706 square feet. And then we're also, along with this property, we have a detached garage. This particular property is on Matterhorn Villa development dating back to the late 50s or early 60s. And so we have the original cabin, then they built the larger home in 1996 while they stayed in the apartment above the garage. Now we're traveling down Rocky Point Road. We have the mountains out in the background, and we're heading south, and we get a view of the lake just here in a moment. And once we get down here, we'll be passing by the Cecil and Bernice Villa subdivision. And these lots that are in the little higher density area are roughly half-acre lots. And you see here one of the homes suffered a tragic fire and not too awful long ago right here. So they'll bring that back around. These lots are pretty popular. They often don't stay on the market very long. They have lake views and lake access. Now, just off of Highway 93 north of Polson is Jette Meadows subdivision. And these homes here were built from 2003 to about 2010 and sit on 3 to nearly 5 acre wooded parcels. And the homes range in size from roughly 2,000 square feet to nearly 4,000. And then in April of 2024, a 1,400 square foot 3-bath home on approximately 3 acres sold for $429, which is pretty decent value. And there is currently a 3-bed, 3-bath home on 3+ acres. That's 3,400 square feet. And that's for sale and listed at just under $1 million for that particular property. Jette Lake is essentially across the Highway 93 from Jette Meadows, and this subdivision features Jette Lake, of course, which I believe is part of the association common area. The subdivision was put in circa 1974, and the lots are between 5 and 6 acres, and houses have been built in here as late as 2002. Now, most of the houses are between 1,100 square feet and 2,800 square feet. There currently is a listing on 5 acres that's 2,576 square feet, and it was built in 1986, and it's listed just under $600,000. Now, these timbered lots and homes are quite reasonably priced in the bigger picture for Western Montana. Since the fall of 2022, there have been a number of these parcels that have sold between $475,000 and $585,000. Now, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We'll try to get to them. And remember to hit the logo on the bottom right-hand part of your screen and subscribe to the Montana Real Estate channel and be notified whenever we put up a new video on communities across Western Montana. And then we'll get into a variety of things that you can do, places to go, and generally the lifestyle of Montana. Of Polson across Veterans Memorial Bridge over the Flathead River is Shoreline Drive, where lots are typically just under 1 acre, and these lots are on public water and sewer. So they're part of the town of Polson. And these lakefront properties are from the 1960s up to 2017 or newer. The prices will range from $1.5 million, and currently there is a property for sale that is over 4,400 square feet, 5-bed, 4-bath, and it's offered at approximately $1.75 million. Real close to town. And there was a home along here that sold in July of 2022 for just over $4.1 million. And it was a 4-bedroom with 3 full baths and 2 half baths and 7,200 square feet. And so just down Shoreline Drive a little bit is the Shores of Flathead Lake condominiums. And this sits on the lake and this property was incorporated into the town of Polson in 1983. That's why we have public water and sewer on this portion of the lake across the river. Now, these units were built in 2007. They're approximately 3,000 square feet on 2 levels and include a boat slip with a boat lift. And these units will sell in the neighborhood of $1 million. And they're very convenient to Polson, great access to the lake. It's great to be able to lock and walk, no maintenance. And these are often owned by folks that maybe have winter home, say in Arizona, and then these summer units.
Here we are at the Polson Airport. It's a great place to fly into. They've got courtesy cars here if you're a pilot, and you can get into the county-owned courtesy car, go to town, go out to the lake. They can handle a pretty good-sized aircraft here. There's a lot of events. The rodeo grounds are right here at the airport, and we also have some fly-ins, and I think the Seroptimists have their wine tasting out here. But it's a great spot to come into if you're a private pilot.
Polson Fairgrounds area and rodeo grounds started in the early stages with a donation of a portion of the land to Lake County in 1938. And today, the Polson Rodeo Grounds are host to various events, including the Mission Mountain Rodeo in June. Here we are going into Polson. We're going across the Flathead River as it leaves Flathead Lake on its journey to flow into the Clark Fork River, with waters eventually flowing into the Columbia River and finally the Pacific Ocean. There are some marinas along the river and residences, including single family and condos. And once we get across the bridge, we'll cross Main Street. And we'll be driving onto the what is Highway 93 corridor. It's a nice public park over on the right-hand side. There's also another public park on the left. That's Sacajawea Park. And as we come up here, right at the light is Main Street. Now, this is a very busy business district. And as you can see, we've got a variety of businesses. This is coming in to, as we're traveling here, we would be traveling towards Ronan. And Ronan is another community on the reservation. We have the Exit Realty office over on the left. And then right in front of us, we have the Kwataqnuk Hotel and Casino right there on the left. And the lake to the east of that, where you can rent boats and wave runners at the Kwataqnuk and try your hand at gaming. And there's some hotels. You've got coming up here, you have a Subway and a business mall called the Anchorage. All of this along the Highway 93 corridor there in Polson. And a little further out, of course, you have Walgreens. There is a Walmart out further as we travel along this way. Now, there are a variety of residential condos also in this area. And right here we have what's known as the Narrows condominiums this is just going out further on Highway 93. This is going out towards the East Shore. And we'll try to pick up some of that here in just a bit. So the Narrows condominiums were built in 1991, and they're 1,245 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath units with Flathead Lake frontage. And they've got boat slips that you can see here with lifts. And a unit closed here in May of 2023, fully furnished, and that unit was $645,000. Wonderful view of Flathead Lake here at the south end of the lake in Polson. Right of the Flathead Nation. So the tribe has a hotel casino on the shores of Flathead Lake. This facility is along Highway 93, and this strip includes various businesses. Some of them are on tribal land, and there is a car wash, locksmith, the Exit Polson office is right there. There's a dispensary, as recreational marijuana use is legal in the state of Montana, and conveniently you have a liquor store there and an auto parts store. Now this is Lakeview Estates. Now this is south and west of Polson. In the Lakeview Estates is a rural area near the Flathead River, and lots vary in size from 1 acre to 5 acres. And the majority of them are being 1 acre range, and most homes have finished basements, and they range in size from 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. Typically they're 3-bed, 2-bath. Some 4-bed, 3-bath. Now, these homes were built between 1992 and 2004, and a home in here recently sold in April of 2024 on 1.6 acres, and it was a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,800 square foot home, and that property sold for $630,000. And if we go back to the Jette Lake properties, they're obviously wooded. You don't have the views of the lake or the mountains, but those properties on 5 acres were less expensive than these. These tend to obviously be a little more. There are some 5-acre parcels in here as well, but the most of them, the majority are 1-acre parcels. And you have a church in the neighborhood there. And so this is just outside of the town of Hamilton, Polson. And of course, speaking of Polson, this is the original town site of Polson. This area is it was incorporated. Polson was incorporated in 1910. And these homes range in age from 1913 and through to the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we've got some 60s in there. The home that's right here on the corner right there was built in 1913, 1,680 square feet on a 7,000 square foot lot. And it sold in February of 2024 for $300,000, which translates to a sale price of just under $180 a square foot. In the Riverside edition of Polson are lots that are less than a 1/4 acre here. And this edition was built from 1910 to the late 1960s. And these houses are from 1,000 square feet to 1,700. And I believe the green home that we're coming up on right there was 864 square feet, built in 1910 and sold in November of 23 for $269,900, which was the actual list price. Now this is 7th Avenue heading west on 7th in Polson. We have a mix of businesses and churches, single-family residents. Most are lots approximately 7,000 square feet. That's kind of the standard in Polson. And they range in size from around 800 square foot homes to 2,000 square feet. And the home, got a home coming up right here that was 1,300 square feet and sold in January of 2024 for $325,000. Now, some of these homes were built as early as 1900, and most were built in the mid-40s, and there's some infill even in the 2020s. Now, this is a street section in downtown Polson, and Polson was founded in 1898 and named for pioneer rancher David Polson, and it was incorporated, as I mentioned before, in 1910. And it has a population, according to the 2020 census, of 5,148 persons. And of course, the area does pick up population during the summer months. Now, here is the library in Polson. And just beyond that is the Baypoint condos. Now, these were converted from apartments to condos in 2006, and there are 4 2-bedroom, 1-bath units, and there are 16 1-bed, 1-bath units, which can sell for nearly $300,000. And a partner and I actually had 10% of that project at one time. Long story there. And it's right across from Flathead Lake and Sacajawea Park, downtown Polson. Condos are on what's called Salish Point. And this is on Salish Point on Kootenai Avenue, just a stone's throw away from that Bay Point. We have Edgewater condos. It's short-term rentals put together by Lem Real Estate and Flathead Designs Construction Group. I highly recommend Flathead Design Construction Group in the area. This is 19th Avenue and sits across from the Polson Pirates football field. You can sit in your living room and watch the game. Now, these homes sit on just under a 1/4-acre lot on city water and sewer. They have a great view of the lake and mountains, and this development is called Woodbine Estates. The homes were predominantly built in the mid-1990s, and they range in size from 1,000 square feet, 3-bed, 1-bath, to 1,500 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath. But recently, a home sold in here and closed in March of 2024 for $376,000, and this is on 19th Avenue. 19th Avenue is also very close to the hospital. An important element of any community is access to health care, and this is the campus coming up of St. Joseph Medical Center. In the spring of 1910, the Flathead Indian Reservation was open to settlers. However, there were no provisions for schools or hospitals. And in the fall of 1913, Bishop John Carroll out of Helena created the parish of Polson, and Father O'Malley asked the Hospitallers of St. Joseph to come to Polson from Ontario, and the sisters came west and established the Hotel Dieu Hospital in October of 1916 with a capacity for 6 patients. And today, St. Joseph's Medical Center is under the sponsorship of the Sisters of Providence. And today, St. Joseph is a 22-bed critical access hospital serving the greater community of Polson. This is Brownlake View Subdivision, and homes were built from the early 1960s up to 2020 on 1 to approximately 1.5 acres. And these homes are 3,500 to roughly 2,000 plus square feet. Homes will sell between the low 600s to over $1 million. These lots have great views of the lake as well as terrific mountain views. And then this subdivision abuts another subdivision called Mission Bay. It's Mission Bay Golf Community, and we'll take a look at that one right now. Now, the Mission Bay Golf Community, the covenants were filed on that by Fairway Properties in July of 1988, and this development around Polson Bay Golf Club, it incorporates the old country club, which was founded in 1938, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous golf 9-hole right on the shore of the lake. And then Mission Bay brought it into the community of Mission Bay Golf Community. And the development around that includes townhomes and detached single-family homes. And the new portion of the golf club itself is an 18-hole championship course. It's approximately 7,000 yards in length. So that incorporates the old 9-hole course along with the new 18-hole. And these homes are situated on 1/4-acre lots bordering the golf course. A lot of them have finished basements with the main level at approximately 1,500 to 1,600 square feet. These homes began being built approximately 1988 forward, and this is an exceptional development. Now, the homes do come up for sale. but they go fast. And the last documented MLS sale was for a 3,100 square foot, 2-bed, 3-bath home, which sold for $707,000 in June of 2023. Now, this Mission Bay development consists of both the single family and townhouses, as I mentioned, around the Mission Bay golf course portion of it. And a lot of it was done in the 1990s. You got the 1/3 acre lots. As you can see, it's absolutely fantastic views. A lot of single level, but we also have some finished basements like in that home right there, and this one, a couple of different levels. And townhomes are roughly about 1,300 square feet. They're 2-bed, 2-bath homes. And those actually will go for over $1 million. In town, well, the townhomes go for the mid 400s. Single family homes will go for over $1 million on Mission Bay Golf Course. So let's just take a look at the golf course here on Mission Bay and enjoy the scenery. Absolutely perfect day in Polson. We hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Be sure to leave your comments. Tap that logo down on the bottom and subscribe so that you'll know about other videos that we put up about communities in Western Montana. I'm Craig with Cyphers Family Real Estate. We've been helping folks since 1966 with buying and selling real estate, and we know the area well. My mother was from Polson. So the Montana Real Estate Channel, sponsored by Cyphers Family Real Estate. These are the townhomes that are on the golf course at Mission Bay. And again, these sell in the mid 400s, about 1,300 square foot, 2-bed, 2-bath condominiums. Now here along Hawk Drive, we have the Mission Bay Clubhouse, the tennis and pickleball courts and fitness center. And then we can also see townhomes in the back and also the single family.
So as I've mentioned, Flathead is famous for its Flathead Lake cherries. And here's an orchard right behind us. It's a great time in the summer, traveling down Highway 35 here. You'll be able to pick up some wonderful cherries to enjoy at home.
I grew up in Polson, and my grandfather Mullen was involved in a creation of cherry growers co-op in the 1920s and 30s. There are many cherry orchards, particularly along the east shore of Flathead Lake, and the lake provides a perfect microclimate for cherry trees. This area is home to some 120 growers, and production varies from 3 to 7 million pounds of cherries.
We're here at the Flathead Lake Park, the Yellow Bay unit. It's a great place to camp down on the lake. And there's also the biological station for the University of Montana here at Yellow Bay. So we'll keep going down here outside of Polson.
As I mentioned in the introduction of this video, Flathead Lake is the largest natural freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. It is the remnant of glacial Lake Missoula. Flathead Lake is 197 square miles, approximately 28 miles in length, and 16 miles wide. The maximum depth is 370 feet, and it's home to native cutthroat trout, bull trout, west slope cutthroat, and a variety of others. Well, this is a wonderful neighborhood with the commanding views of the Flathead Lake and it's in what's called the Skyline Edition, with homes that are lots less than an acre to half-acre lots, and homes range from 1,600 to 3,000 square feet. And the 111 JB Drive address that we'll see here is a 2,852 square foot home, 4-bed with 2 full baths and a half bath, built in 2021. And it sold in March of 2024 for $800,000 and change. You can also see the airport and rodeo grounds out in the distance. So this is a JB Drive on the Skyline Edition in Polson. What you're going to see is in the area south of Polson near Pablo Reservoir. And you've got larger parcels. An example is this home, which sits on 33 acres, is a 3-bed, 3-bath home, 2,762 square feet, with terrific views of the mountains and sold in November of 23 for just in the mid 800s. These properties here are just south of Polson as well, near Turtle Lake. These are larger parcels ranging in size from 5 to 10 acres, and these homes were built from the 80s up into 2005 and around 2,000 square feet. These assessed values on these homes were from $400,000 to $475,000, and I imagine the actual market values would be significantly more. Now, this home that we're coming up on here is on 10 acres, a 1,700 square foot manufactured home that sold in November of 2023 for $515,000. So that's a fair amount of living space and plenty of acreage. Well, here we are overlooking Flathead Lake in the community of Polson. We hope you've enjoyed this video with the Montana Real Estate Channel and the Cyphers family of real estate. We've been helping folks since 1966. Give us a call, send us a text, send us an email.